What's up, folks? We are back with I Think Sports Podcast. Myself, M. Body out here.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Been a while.
Been a while, as always. Yeah, as I said before, summer tempo, and I think we should capitalize on this more because not a lot of other podcasts about
Nothing.
NBA.
Absolutely nothing's going on.
And we said that we're going to do this all time, all NBA this, all NBA that, greatest point guards, greatest of all time lists. And we haven't done so far anything. So, fuck. Really, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. But today we're going to somehow fix it. Not exactly talk about all-time greats, although maybe you can say that it is. We are going to celebrate a couple of careers. Recently retired Dwayne Wade, so this will be a tribute to him, and Kobe Bryant, because by the time he retired, we were not doing a podcast, and we definitely have to talk about him as he's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite, Kobe or
No,
D.
Kobe
Wade?
is my favorite all time.
I wanted to ask you actually, because I think we should start with D. Wade since he's the most recent retiree.
He's your favorite.
No, he's not. But do you like him at all? Because I get the sense that you're not a fan. Seriously?
I never was a big fan. I appreciate his game, of course. And Wade was always one of the coolest guys in the NBA. Like, never really changed the team, apart from the later years in his career, which was a flop in my opinion. And he was just this guy who's, one team for the whole career and things like that. That I appreciate a lot. And overall, his game I kind of like. But I always like shooters a bit more.
Right.
Wade was never a big shooter. I kind of didn't like him when he was on the USA national team, especially in those tournaments where Lithuania played. So, I don't know. Never was the biggest fan, that I admit. And I'm not surprised that it feels, you can catch it when we talk about Wade. But he is high on your list.
Yeah, with him, it's, there's like two stages. Really, with him, maybe three, but there is the one before LeBron James went to the Heat.
Sure.
And there's when they became, the Heatles, and then when they became just, banana boat best buddies of all time. So yeah, that part I didn't like. That maybe even kind of dislike Wade, and I'm not. Now that he's retiring, I don't have any special feelings about him or anything like that. But man, when he bursted on the scene, actually, I have a few questions for you, so we can talk about those as well.
It's a shame, though, that Banana Boat team never materialized into an actual team. I was sort of thinking that that would be really fun to see on next season Lakers, but just the timeline worked in a different way with the whole AD trade and things like that. Because now, obviously, Lakers are crippled in terms of the moves they can make. And I don't know, it's also too late in the careers of Melo and Wade to jump ship to the Lakers. But imagine if they managed to get CP3 there instead of AD, let's say, and then just bring Melo for veterans minimum and unretire D Wade for the same. Yeah, that would be fun Hollywood type of team.
I don't know. I didn't want to see it, especially with Melo. I mean, how weird is that Melo and LeBron? When they came on the draft class of 2003, they were just obviously LeBron for obvious reasons, but Melo was right up there with him in terms of hype. And D Wade, what I liked about him, he was just this humble dude,
sort of with a chip on his shoulder because he got drafted 5.
Yeah, and he kind of fit that Miami Heat style. Just for some reason, it just fit.
That rookie season and the season after that, sophomore season, well, he won the chip in sophomore. No, it it was
And third.
2006. So yeah,
Yeah.
the third season. Still, it was crazy. I remember the first playoff series against New Orleans Hornets. I think it was
Yep.
back at that time. Yeah, Baron Davis. No,
Probably was still Charlotte Hornets, wasn't it? Oh no, it was New
I think
Orleans.
it was New
Yeah,
Orleans.
yeah.
Yeah, because he stepped up big time, and in the finals, winning Finals MVP in his third season doesn't happen too often.
Amazing. So what my first question would be, when did you start noticing him the first time?
Well, obviously in the 2003 draft. 2003 draft.
I mean by his game, man.
No, he was great in his rookie season.
Were you actually watching the draft
Uh,
back then?
2003 was the first draft, I think, where I, you know, sort of delved into the whole process of drafting and watched a lot of highlights from, um, let's say, D-Wade's Marquette days. And
Nice.
what was it? Varshatsa Hemofarma, I think, for Darko Milicic.
Okay. Holy
So-
shit, yeah, he was number 2 pick.
Imagine if D-Wade was on that Pistons team.
Imagine Carmelo.
Yeah, that one I contemplated a lot. Like Melo would have been a hero in Detroit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh my god, him replacing Tyshawn Prince, and I mean you're not replacing anything. I'm just talking about the starting lineup.
let's just say him replacing Darko Milicic.
Yeah, just put it that way. Oh my god, yeah, that Pistons team could have been a dynasty because they were so good.
Well, yeah, totally agree.
Because that was the year they picked Milicic and whatever. That was bullshit, but they won a championship, and then they went at this relevant stage for like what 5 years.
Yeah,
In 5 they were relevant.
they were
Because,
great.
God damn it, they knocked
especially
out
in
the
the
Heat.
Eastern Conference. They were a force to be reckoned with.
And in 2006, they won like, what, 67 games? They were just complete killers. They had amazing. Do you remember they had like Flip Saunders as all-star coach and also 4 other players from the Pistons, except for Tyshawn Prince?
Was it Flip Saunders the coach?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Larry Brown?
Larry Brown was 2004 and 5, I think.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Lindsey Hunter.
Yeah, he was good. So anyway, yeah. You noticed D Wade in the draft.
But that's the thing. Yeah, I noticed him. I mean, I was kind of high on him in that draft. I wasn't too big of a fan though, because he was more of like an athletic type of dude, the slasher, not my type.
Love that.
Yeah, and so I don't know. When did you realize that D-Wade is gonna be one of your favorite players for the time being?
Probably not the first year because I'm a huge I was a huge Baron Davis fan at that time. And I didn't like what he did to him in those playoffs, winning the series and all that. I thought like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I watched his
rookie.
highlights after the season, and he's just like doesn't give a shit. Goes against Steve Francis, dunks on him, blocks him. You know, he had all these awesome highlights against these veteran players that you love, like, you know, Steve Francis, Baron Davis, these athletic point guards that can dunk. I mean, that was a big deal back then.
Steve Francis, man, what a player.
Yeah.
It's a shame how his career turned out.
Man, I remember when he, he went to the Magic and T-Mac went to the Rockets. I thought, yeah, it's nice that T-Mac is on the Rockets, but damn, could you imagine if they would have Steve Francis with them? And they had him, like, what, in 2007, 8 or something? But back then,
Swan song.
yeah, Francis was just chubby. He wasn't playing the same.
Lowry could be jealous.
Yeah, it was not the same anymore. So after the first season, I kind of noticed him with that, with that move over Baron Davis, and Baron Davis was a heck of a defender. So, well, back then, I mean, before he was chubby too, though he kind of always was.
I loved Baron Davis, especially in Charlotte.
Oh,
Golden
yeah.
State, not as much. Clippers, obviously, he was a
Still liked him, Golden
different
State.
player.
I gotta say, I didn't exactly like that Golden State team that much. I just thought like it's fun to watch them, but like, who the fuck are you kidding, man?
Steven
You're not.
Jackson.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of bad boys. But obviously that dunk over Kirilenko. So
How-
anyway, that first season was kind of, I thought more like about him, like, who the fuck is this guy? But then the next season, obviously Shaq joins the Heat. And man, he was not Shaq, but D Wade was playing so amazing, made the All-Star game. And really seemed humble. You know, he didn't seem this cocky prick that you can definitely notice from the international days. Just seemed this guy who just plays right, doesn't mind, being put up against the highest competition, and he just knows his place. He's a good player, and they had such a great season. And the first time I really became a fan was in 2005 when they played the Suns,
Uh,
Phoenix Suns, because the Suns were number one in the Western Conference.
okay.
The
I
Heat
thought,
were number
why
one
the
in the
Suns
Eastern
were relevant?
Conference.
I forget that Suns were relevant for
They were
a couple
man,
of years.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
easy
that
to
was the year.
forget.
That was the year for them to go for broke, get that championship, and obviously didn't materialize. But anyway, they were kind of competing for the number one spot in the whole NBA. Who's going to win the regular season? And I remember that was one of those games that I tuned in. It actually showed in Lithuania.
Okay.
And D Wade was just like, playing awesome. Eddie Jones was still playing. The whole Heat team looked awesome. A lot of fun. And obviously the Suns were super fun because Nash and Amari, man, they were just providing highlights left and right.
Sean Marion, Joe Johnson,
Sean Marion, John Johnson,
Quentin
Joe
Richardson.
Johnson, Quentin Richardson, yeah. That team was insane.
But that's pretty much it, right? Who else do you remember from that team?
well, yeah, the Anthony style. He plays like 6 guys.
4.
And I remember the highlight. I mean, Amari goes for a dunk or a shot maybe, and D Wade goes from behind just out of nowhere and just blocks him, takes the ball, and from more than the half court, he shoots it, beats the buzzer, makes the shot going into the halftime. And they won that game, I remember. But that was one of the most incredible things that I've seen in a long time. And I thought, man, this guy is fun, for real. I dig it. I'm going to watch him more and more. So, yeah, that was the first time. And I was rooting for him badly in 2005 against the Pistons. That was a tough one. That was a tough one that they lost. And I was rooting badly. I mean, to me, still, T-Mac was the guy. But D-Wade was right up there. It was T-Mac and D-Wade. I wasn't even thinking about Kobe that much because those two guys were still very relevant, going for the championships. And then in 2006, man, it finally happened. He looked perfect, man. He was making shots. You say he's not a shooter, but you wouldn't say that
Not a 3-point
in that series.
shooter.
Yeah.
He's a terrific mid-ranger.
Beautiful. I was trying to emulate his shot. I remember the whole summer. Once he won MVP, I thought being just like him. So
when you think of D Wade, what's the first episode of his career that comes to mind? Like you mentioned a lot of great moves. So do you have one? Because for me, it's the Euro step against KG.
that was a good one.
And maybe also the dunk over Varejao when he unnecessarily stepped over him afterwards.
I remember he had this. I think it wasn't against Varejao. Maybe it was against Sasha Pavlovich, but it was against the Cavs. I mean, him and LeBron, they had some epic battles, man, before he joined them.
And they had some epic moments while on the same team as well.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, his
Just
passing.
high-flying birds.
There's a lot of things. I mean, I love his passing. I mean, he always just passes the ball right where you need to be. And he's just such a creator in the moment. I mean, he was such a good decision maker in the moment. He was making mistakes, obviously, but I don't know. I remember that Sasha Pavlovich, when he wrapped his hands around him, and got the ball over his back, then switched to the other side, and then went for I think it was alley oop for Shaq or something. But it was a good, awesome moment. I remember that. I was like, "Fuck, man, that's a street ball move. This guy's just on another level."
So remember when he like dribbled down the court and it was around the uh, half court and he put the ball on one side, like ran through the out of bounds, gathered it again, and
Yeah,
just
maybe that's what I'm thinking about. I just remember that wrapping the hands around
yeah, it's
college. That was like Jordan type of stuff. I mean, that's what Jordan used to do.
yeah, you don't see that very often.
Yeah.
But just took a quick look at the 3 point averages. So the highest he had in his career was actually this last season. It was 1.2 threes per game makes.
Yeah.
So not a lot. And obviously shot the most this season too, 3.6 attempts. So definitely not a high volume 3 point shooter.
Never was. Very reluctantly, he was shooting. But I remember, again, that was just me being a biased fan at that moment. But again, 2007, I think, season, he was trying to shoot more. And he had a good percentage, but he was just not shooting enough. And then, he once he starts shooting more of them, that's when he gets himself in trouble. Never, yeah, too good of a shooter. But again, to me, I think it didn't matter. I think he was still a big time shooter. When he needs to make a three, he will make that fucking three, and that
Big
was the big
shot
thing about him.
maker,
Yeah.
maybe, rather than big shot taker more often. So, okay, I have a question for you then. Not sure if we should jump straight to it, but where do you rank him all time?
Man, I had some other stuff. Yeah.
Okay, you go then.
No,
Let's think
it's
about
cool.
it.
It's cool.
Because
Top five for sure.
top 5 shooting guard of all time.
Yeah.
You're saying. Okay.
Man, it's hard now because Harden is really making his case.
The whole all time thing is so hard to do because
We're gonna do it, right? We're gonna do it.
whatever. Let's because it's really hard because the eras are way different. And where do you rank? How do you compare Jerry West to D Wade? I know you don't because you basically don't consider
I love Jerry
the
West.
old schoolers at all. But Jerry West was a baller too.
Yeah.
And just because we didn't get a chance to see him play,
That's another thing. You see, we get to see highlights, so you get to really think of this guy. Wow, he's so magical. Made that half court shot that won the game and all that. It's all highlights, man. You don't see them making too many mistakes. You don't see them getting themselves into foul trouble or getting technicals or just passing somewhere in the fucking stands and making shitty moves.
that's more of the case with the nowadays players, I would say, current era players. Because, I mean, the previous players like Jerry West, because you can get film, like way back days film from players like Russell or
Yeah.
I don't know, McHale or whatever, and you usually just get the highlights then, right? You don't really see the whole thing.
Yeah, you just see greatness, especially if they were big time winners. I mean, Jerry West wasn't exactly a winner. He stumbled. Was he against Bill Russell? He lost a lot against Bill Russell, right?
Who?
Jerry West, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
So, yeah, that's a tough go, man. I mean, at that moment, I mean, the biggest guy wins, really. So,
The biggest and the Afro-Americanist guy.
yeah, pretty much so. So, of course, he was a badass, but, in terms of where I would put him, I would need to think about this more. But I think D Wade is definitely top five. I think he was even top three
Well,
in my mind for the longest time.
a lot of people have him top 3 behind MJ and Kobe. Some even have him in front of Kobe, which is outrageous in my
No, this
mind.
is ridiculous. Yeah.
But I don't know. Just thinking about D Wade's career, I think what could have been like if he stayed healthier. Because really,
That's
you
the thing.
don't pay too much attention to that fact. I think because he didn't miss like a whole season like Derrick Rose. Well, Derrick Rose is an outlier, of course, because he missed like 5 of them. But he didn't get a major injury like Kobe, for example. But he just looking at the games played totals, it was 61 the first season, then a couple of 77, 79 was the most he played, then 51, 51, 49, 69, 54, 62. So not a
Yeah.
lot by
Yeah.
any stretch of
I
imagination.
remember, yeah. It was always very frustrating and it really started. Okay, let me just jump real quick to one question. What was the best, in your opinion, the best part about his game?
That's I don't know, it's tough because it's definitely not like logically constructively best part of his game. But to me, what I maybe admired a lot about him for sure is his blocking ability as
Yeah.
a guard.
Good defensive player.
I think that he's one of the best to ever do it in a guard's body.
Wait, isn't he leading all the guards?
Wouldn't say that, don't want to lie, but he for sure should be up there, I think, in terms of stats.
I think
Because
he was definitely top two. Something like last year, I've heard this.
I think he might have led the whatever international tournament he played on. Was it, maybe Olympics or maybe World Cup? I don't know, whatever. I can't remember right now, but he was like leading the whole tourney in
Hmm.
blocks. So that was interesting. And I don't know, for a guard to average like over a block, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full seasons for over a block, and
Yeah.
he averaged quite a lot of steals too. So just he had to be reckoned with on both ends of the floor, and probably leadership as well. To me, I think that it takes a lot for a guy like D Wade, in this culture of the NBA. Like it's your town, it's your city, it's your team, whatever. You are the man, and then you organize for LeBron and Chris Bosh to come, and you sort of give it to LeBron without,
Yeah, that was such a big part
it
of
was
the narrative in 2011.
it's was yeah, undervalued moment in DVA's career, I think.
Yeah, even till this day, you can see, even with some sparkles in Chicago and in this last season, man, D Wade was he makes big shots, takes ownership of the situation, and yeah, he gets the job done. That's something that I have never seen LeBron doing until he joined forces with him
And
and then
learn
left.
from him.
Yeah. I really feel like that's what Dve gave to LeBron, and that's what made LeBron now who he is. Maybe that's an exaggeration or anything, but I really believe in that because, again, in my mind, that 2006 season, man, he was just, God damn it, he was out of this world. Because I was rooting for them so hard, and a lot of games were so tough. Game 3 was tough. Game 4 was, I don't think it was that tough, but Game 5 was also very insane with, everything on the line for both teams. And He-Man had to step up and make big fucking shots, where, holy shit, if I miss this, we lose. And, he took them to the promised land. In 2006, he took them to the promised land, and he was a fucking leader.
In 2006, 26% from three. Just saying.
There you go. Well, it was obviously a different,
Different NBA back
yeah,
then.
different
Yeah,
era.
and guys like D-Wade could excel way more than they can nowadays.
Yeah, from
That's
everything that
true.
I remember, I don't remember any 3-pointers. It was all about stepping
Because
at least a step
there were
inside.
like 5 throughout the season.
To me, his favorite thing about him was probably the thing that cost him, his career longevity is the circus shots that he makes, the bumps that he takes, the way he just able. Do you
Yeah.
remember our commentator in Lithuania used to call him a rubber man? I don't think
No.
anybody else called him this way.
I don't know, because commentators in Lithuania have this sort of thing. They
No, that
say
was
all
Langvinas.
kinds of
I have a respect for that guy.
rubber man, whatever.
Yeah, he used to call him man of rubber or something.
A man of culture, but also a rubber.
Because yeah, man, he was just willing to take those bumps, and the way he was able to finish it, for all sorts of circus shots. Look
Yeah,
at his compilation. That's just insane.
that's a great point.
You
Yeah.
forget so many of them. But that's the thing. It doesn't last. It does not last. Those bumps, they take a toll on you, and
But just thinking of now that you brought it up, thinking of the circus shot, I can remember so many because they were
Yeah.
like a plenty throughout the years.
it's almost every single game you see something crazy with him.
Do you remember this last season now? It's weird saying last season because just like, oh, yeah, but the game winner against the Warriors.
Fuck yeah. And I remember Steph laughing like, God damn it.
And
man,
that was
son
a
of bitch."
3.
That was a 3, yeah. Change of an era right at the end. So,
So even if we talk about D-Wade as one of the greatest of all times for the shooting guards, the last years of his career were 11.4, 11.2, 12 points, and 15 points per game.
yeah.
18 before then and 19 before then. Well, 19 is surely okay, but definitely not his peak. So, and it lasted. It lasted for like, what, 5 full seasons? So he dipped in his career averages for sure. And this is just, I don't know. He obviously washed out a bit in the end of his career.
Yeah, and he says he says that he's leaving on his own terms, that it's not like he cannot play basketball anymore, that he can still have a couple of years. He just doesn't want to do it. But at the same time, man, you don't want to see him do it again. Why
Yeah.
would you? I mean, he's a great player. He was the guy who was, again, in 2009. Do you fucking remember him in 2009? I remember because, again, I remember his career pretty vividly up until he joined LeBron. LeBron joined him. So in 2007, he dislocates his shoulder. And I thought, fuck, man, maybe they were going to repeat and this and that. But I remember Charles was shitting on them because Shaq is too old and D Wade is just, not back. And then they get swept in the first round by the Bulls because D Wade's shoulder is just fucked up. So that bleeds into the 2008 season where he's kind of, what was his average? 24 points, not too bad, but he only played 51 fucking games. So he wasn't looking exactly D Wade, but then he joins Olympic team. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Shaved his head. God
He was-
damn.
That's when I hated him the most. Well, not hated him the most, but just, he was the enemy back then. And he was ridiculous then.
Ridiculous.
He could do
He
whatever.
was doing windmill
Yeah.
alley oops. Shit, man, he was insane. And at that time, I was already a Kobe fan more. So, because D Wade kind of went away from the equation, and T Mac was.
Fuck those windmill alley-oops. Who likes them?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I did not expect him to look this good, and he was fucking shredded. He looked, at the peak of his powers, and he was, my God, he was good. He was, by the way, making a lot of 3-pointers. Again, FIBA 3-pointers.
Which is a mid-range.
Yeah. But yeah, man, he was a killer. He was the best player on that team. And they had Kobe, they had peak LeBron. They had everybody. Kobe made some big shots there, but man, D-Wade saved them in all the games. In all the games, D-Wade was
Well,
insane.
except for the Spain game.
I
would
think D-Wade
say.
still led them in scoring.
Well,
Yeah, he
still,
didn't
though.
make that silencer shot that Kobe did. Yeah, but that was a heck of a team, man, to watch. And I remember, I get your point. In 2006, I remember as well, at that point, he can't do anything wrong in my eyes. But in international competition, that was the World Cup. I remember they played Italy, and Italy gave them a good game. They were the only
Damn
team that
right
didn't
he
get
did. Bellinelli.
Bellinelli. Yeah, I think that was the only team that did not get beaten by double digits against them. And one of the guys was like, "Yo, what the fuck you think you are? You Michael Jordan or something?" Because he was seeming too cocky, or he said something. And I'm like, "Yeah, man, D Wade is playing with a fucking attitude here. He's like MVP, this and that now. He's the champ, and apparently that got to him just a little bit, and they end up not even winning, only winning bronze medal in a World Cup. And yeah, in 2008, I was kind of rooting for Kobe, and D Wade stole the show. So yeah, on international
And
side of things,
Greece didn't even have Giannis back then.
man,
It was
that would have been fun.
Antonis Fotis and the rest.
Because Yukis,
Whatever,
whatever.
Giannis.
Diamantidis, and Papalukas. Yeah, that was the team that beat him. Jesus. So anyway, he comes back for 2009, and he's right up there with Kobe and LeBron in MVP race. That was the most games that he played, 79.
Most points scored, too.
Yeah, scoring champ.
Not a joke. Not a joke to be a scoring champ in the NBA.
Kobe just did it twice.
And that's what blows my mind from time to time is that MJ did it 10 times. 10 times.
Untouchable.
It's insane.
Incomparable,
man.
untouchable.
10 times. To be, wow.
I don't know. Yeah, that guy was special. I mean, we can talk about these greats, but that is the greatest still. And so, yeah, anyway, D-Wade was looking awesome in 2009. Too bad that LeBron was just looking out of this world. So he gets the MVP. That was his legit shot. In 2010, I don't really remember that season. I think he was All-Star MVP then, right?
Might have been. Who cares, though?
And then
Kobe has
LeBron
like
joins the
4 of them.
squad with Chris Bosh. And it's a different story. He was still providing some big moments, but it was a LeBron show because apparently D Wade decided to defer to LeBron more and basically say, "This is your team." Do you remember those days? Because I gotta say, as popular as the Heat were back then, I did not watch a lot of NBA.
No, I definitely didn't follow Heat
Me
as
neither.
closely then, too. I don't know. To me, I just remember the force that the Heatles were like running all the time, fast breaking like crazy, and LeBron doing also, same as D made whatever the fuck he wanted, really playing in the post, literally jumping over people. Remember that
Yeah.
alley-oop dunk or Mike James or whatever the guy was.
Don't remember the guy's name, yeah,
But
but I do remember
it's
that.
just
It was crazy.
it's 100 miles per hour all the time.
And again, the fucking alley oops. Just again, perfect pass. I mean, I guess it's easy to pass to LeBron because he's gonna get it no matter where you throw it.
LeBron passed a couple to Wade too.
Yeah, but they were perfect for each other, really.
But-
Such a great duo.
I thought about it the other day, long before this pod, like how maybe Kawhi and PG would mesh together, and just thought that normally LeBron and D Wade wouldn't be the best pair because LeBron usually excels with the best shooters. To me, I think someone like Clay would be way much better
Yeah.
fit than D Wade, but they made it work.
Because they can rely on each other. They take in turns.
Yeah, interchangeable, sort of in a way, like penetrating the defenses, or
Like that moment-
playmaking.
Was it against the Pacers? I don't remember now, but the moment where LeBron is like, picking up the ball and he's like calling D Wade to take the last shot. Do you remember that?
No, but
Yeah,
I totally
I think it was
can
against
imagine that.
Pacers. Yeah, yeah, and D Wade saved them, made the buzzer beater or whatever. clinched the game for them.
Imagine if LeBron is just doing the gesture like, "Come on," and Bosch is coming. And
Oh
okay.
no, not
Oh,
me. Oh,
not
I'm sorry.
okay. No worries.
Shit, man. By the way, Bosch, I remember he was a fucking monster. Whenever D Wade was not around or LeBron was not around, he stepped up. As far as I can remember, because I did watch some games, and shit, man, he stepped up big time. The guy was for sure for real, and now he would be so perfect for this game.
Yeah.
So anyway, just to wrap it up, I mean, what are career highs for D Wade?
Career highs.
So he has like 55 points, I think. That's what he scored. Uh, holy shit. Shout out to Basketball Reference. Amazing site. It's just unimaginably great. I mean, everybody's using it. I don't know who's the genius behind it, but kudos to you, my man. But god damn it, there's even too much information here. It's just, oh yeah,
Imagine
there
if
you
it's
go.
Alex Caruso. On his spare time, updates the basketball.
Yeah, so he has scored 55 points once in 2009.
Where do you
Again.
see it?
Game highs, I saw.
Okay.
So I'm not even sure if this is his career high officially, but I'll take a guess. So he had 16 assists, 8 steals, 5 blocks, 12 turnovers,
As you do.
13 rebounds. No, 16 rebounds, I'm sorry. So those are his career highs, and yeah, 55 points. I don't know. And nowadays doesn't blow the doors off of you, I guess. But yeah, he made it work again. Big time shooter, big time deliverer, whatever. I don't know, man. That's I
Big
guess that's what I
baller.
will remember him by. That his leadership really took them to some championships. I don't think without him it's possible.
So he 3-time champion. Same as Steph.
Yep, 3-time champion. 3-time champion. Only 3-time all defensive team. It's weird. As much as we give
We're
accolades, to
gonna
him.
talk about that, I'm sure. But 13-time All Star. So are you pro or against his last selection as an All Star?
I don't mind it, man.
For D Wade, for a
Yeah.
guy like
I,
D
I
Wade.
think it was just perfect situation that it was him and Dirk
Yeah.
because they had history and all that. It was fun. I thought it was fun. I don't know. It
Who
was
gets
cool.
it next season?
I don't think you can make it annual shit.
Vince Carter.
Seriously, they're planning to do this?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
But if it's
You sounded like you know, so
if it's annual thing, it's got to be
I hope they don't make this
Vince
annual.
Carter. Yeah, fuck that.
It has to be a special occasion.
So put it on. What if a coach retires? He gets like a nod still? What? No.
Yeah.
So
What am I for, Pop? I'm sure he would do something silly.
like coach. Actually.
13-time All-Star coach, actually, yeah. Finals, wait. All-Star MVP, yeah, in 2010.
Woohoo.
8 All-NBA selections. Is that a lot? 8 All-NBA? I'm not even sure.
Sure. Yeah, I would say it's a lot. I think that's like what KD has at the moment.
Finals MVP in 2006 and scoring champion 2009. So, obviously, hands down, first ballot Hall of Famer.
KD has 9. Sorry.
Oh, shit. And here you go. And definitely a top 5. So, would you say top 5? Where would you rank him?
Oh yeah, sure. I'd say top 5. MJ and Kobe. I've 1A, 1B. But 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Definitely top 5 though. It's got to be the other 2 spots probably Manu Ginobili and Sasha Pavlovich.
I don't mind Ginobili.
No, not top 5 though. I think.
Nah, of course not.
Where's Bellinelli ranking? All time.
What is it with you and Bellinelli, man?
573rd all time.
Okay, so that's I guess enough on D Wade. Great career, man. Happy happy that he's doing this in his own terms.
Okay, a quick trivia for you. Who was averaging more points per game in his rookie season? Steph or D Wade? Dun 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 dun.
D Wade?
Eh.
Steph, really?
Yeah, 17.5 to D Wade 16.7, if I remember correct.
Nice. I thought that Steph had a shitty season, a shitty rookie season.
No, the shittiest season for him was obviously the third one where he was injured. Only played like 20, 25 maybe games.
Nice. Okay, so let's jump to another legend who retired before our podcast even existed, but we love this guy so much
Steve Nash.
that we have to talk about him. Yeah, not that guy. So, Kobe Bryant, man, this is your guy. I mean, I love Kobe. I'm a fan and I'm a defender of all the shit that he's been doing, but
Which is nice of you.
but I'm to me still probably T Mac was more favorite and D Wade was more favorite than Kobe. And then obviously Kobe took over because it was just so fun to watch him. But this is your guy, so let me know. When did you
Perfect.
notice him?
Perfect size, perfect
Perfect
weight,
body.
perfect body for a basketball player, perfect demeanor. When I noticed him is when I started watching basketball. I started collecting cards and I got this one pack I remember from a bookstore and it was a lot of money for me as a child then. And I remember me and my cousin when were going to the bookstore to buy these. Sometimes my dad would buy me those cards, and you unpack them and you see what you get in the bag. And I was like, oh man, this is such a great card. And it was his rookie season, 96, 97. And it was like a horizontal one with him doing some sort of acrobatic move to the hoop. It was like, okay, cool. Who is this guy? And probably should start watching Lakers. And because initially I supported Utah because they played against the Bulls. So naturally I would go against this team and not for the Bulls. So Utah
Wow.
was my team. Jeff Hornacek was probably my favorite player.
Seriously? I thought
First one.
Stockton.
No, Stockton was great. But and Malone too, definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
He was all right. So yeah, but I started watching the Lakers and I started immediately rooting for Lakers because of Kobe. Really, the same thing as with some other teams where when you are a child you see a player and you like the way the player plays and you start supporting the team and you either stick with the team or jump teams when the player leaves. Kobe never left.
Yeah.
And I supported the Lakers until Steph came to the scene. So, yeah, transition. But yeah, so let me ask you the same question then. When did you start noticing Kobe?
Probably
After
when he got his afro. I remember when we were kids. I mean, I was like, I don't know. He had his afro when that was like 2099.
well, I would say maybe even 97, 98. He already had this
Okay,
baby
so
afro.
probably after MJ was done. So yeah, probably in '99. I remember just hanging out with friends in the yard playing basketball, and these. So I was like, what, 8 years old, and these bigger kids show up and they say, "Hey man, you saw Kobe Bryant, this dude. Everybody's talking about MJ, but look what Kobe's doing at this age. MJ wasn't even in NBA yet. He's gonna be better, man. Watch out for him. He's gonna be better." And I'm like, holy shit, there's gonna be somebody better than MJ. So that's when I started noticing him. But I think when he really became a superstar was in 2002. I mean, then he was
I think
Jesus. Would you say earlier?
I would say 2000. I would say 2000 because the first couple of years were the learning curve for him, and it was rough. Those air balls against Utah, and but it obviously helped him grow. And the first 2 seasons he wasn't even a starter, but the
Well, he
third
was a
season
star for sure.
he was a sensation more than a star because everybody wanted to see this explosive Kobe.
Yeah.
He winning the dunk contest, and he was a celebrity before he was like a legitimate star basketball wise. But he always had this,
Yeah.
up and coming young guy emerging onto the scene kind of feeling to him. And yeah, I think that 2000, 2001, well, the first title, I would say
Yeah. Well,
he bona fide himself.
probably. For some reason, I always remember Kobe just taking a lot of time to really becoming. Again, he was with Shaq, so that's tough. But in exchange, they were winning championships. So Kobe was not the man, but they were winning championships. In 2002, I really felt like Kobe was the man, even though Shaq was just as good and
And
probably better because he was still winning MVPs. I mean, goddamn it, Shaq was such a force.
so I don't know, it's a double-edged sword. Same like with Steph and KD in a way. Because like,
Yeah,
oh, okay,
for
you
sure.
you can't win the MVP now because you have other great people on your other great players on your team. Like, how is this my disadvantage then? If I'm as great with all these other great people on the team, why am I being punished in comparison to a guy who's like the only star?
Right.
The year Westbrook won the MVP, who else did they have on their team? Steven Adams was probably the second best player, right? So,
Probably
and he gets like bumped.
Oladipo, maybe. But yeah. Well, I mean, in 2000, he averaged 22 points. Not exactly, unbelievable. But then he comes out in 2001 with 28.5. Jesus.
Yeah.
And then 2002, only 25, but he played 80 games and he, was All Star MVP and all this and all that. And then completely takes over in 2003. Oh my God, that was just insane and unfair. And obviously, then some scandals happen, and he takes a little bit of a backseat. But God damn it, he had 30 points per game in 2003, and he was still not a scoring champ. Who was the scoring champ then
When?
in 2003? Was it Shaq then?
I don't know.
Actually, that might be a stupid question. Was Shaq ever a scoring champion?
No.
Anyway,
Shaq famously,
KG maybe.
infamously actually, could have gotten the scoring title. But David Robinson scored 71 in the last game of the season. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was
So I don't
stupid.
think Shaq was a scoring. Anyway,
So anyway, yeah, when when Kobe bursted on the scene, I was rooting for T Mac. Because to me, I don't know, I was rooting for the underdog. T Mac did not have Shaquille O'Neal,
aw, for a bastard.
but he was, man, his game was awesome. Again, great defensively, tall, which I loved, tall and can handle the basketball. I mean, the way he handled the basketball, the way he shot, and the way he dunked was everything that you wanted to see from the player.
Well, T Mac was a slightly better Paul George.
Slightly better? Fuck you, man. Fuck you. So yeah, I was a T Mac guy all the way through, and
And Yao, too. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I don't remember when did it break. Obviously, you could not root for Kobe in 2006 when Shaq left, gave keys to the car, and
well, it's actually Kobe who took it, I would say. Not really Shaq leaving.
in 2004 it was pretty obvious that Kobe's the guy.
And yeah, that season where he averaged 40 for over a month, and
Those shots, big
what
shots
was
that
it?
he made.
8 games over 50.
Oh, but
No, not 9, 8, but it was like 4, 5 games
I
where
think
he
6 games.
over 50. It was ridiculous. I remember back.
But wasn't that in 2007? Because I think in 2006 he had like 60 points in 3 quarters, then 81-point game.
62.
But that stretch I think was the season afterwards.
Might be. Either way,
But yeah,
both of those seasons, I remember going into the practice because it was back in the day when yours faithfully was still playing a bit. And I remember we used to talk in the locker room with the guys, like, okay, did you see who Kobe did this time? And we were just making jokes because it was unbelievable. Each time we were gathered in the locker room, we discussed it with we were all in awe of what he was doing daily. And a guy scoring 81 points, I didn't watch that game live,
yeah, me neither. I just watched the box score and couldn't
which
believe it.
sucked because, you would sort of love to see history like
It was
that.
way tougher to see games back then.
Definitely.
Illegal
when-
streaming really started for me personally.
We don't talk about it here.
2007. That's all I'm saying.
Just a guess.
Yeah, I'm guessing people.
Yeah, but
people do
looking
that.
at the box score, it said 81 points.
Did you think it was a glitch?
Yeah.
Me too.
I was like, what the fuck? 81 points? Let me look at the
Let me
shot
scroll.
chart.
Let me refresh and
And
scroll.
the shot chart and quickly running through the numbers to add to the team total. And like, are you fucking kidding me? 81 points.
I remember when
81
T-Mac scored
points.
62, and I was like, fuck yeah, T-Mac.
T-Mac did?
He did in 2004.
For the Magic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
When Magic sucked complete ass.
But he was a beast.
He was amazing.
He and Pat Garrity or Matt Harping or whatever. No, it was Pat Garrity.
Pat Garrity, yeah, he was part of the team. I mean, Grant Hill was supposed to be there. And Tim Duncan apparently was supposed to be there. I didn't even know that until last year. Somebody brought it up. I think it was on BS podcast.
I heard it before somewhere that he wanted.
And did you hear the story? I mean, sorry for the side note, guys, but
No,
real
sure,
quick.
you just hate Kobe. That's why you're doing this.
I'm just trying to explain. I'm a T-Mac fan. When he got that block in 2003 All-Star game, I'm like, fuck yeah, Kobe, suck it. Because I thought he was better, but he didn't get a shine because he wasn't playing with a guy who can take him to the championship. That's all I'm saying.
So it starts again. Unpopular opinion here, but especially nowadays where more and more fans are out there who didn't get to see Kobe in his prime.
Yeah.
A lot of younger kids on the internet forums and whatnot are just spitting dirt on Copester and just saying that, things like D-Wade might have actually been better or D-Wade had a better prime or things like that just because effective field goal percentage.
Yeah, if you look at the stats,
Come on, man.
again, the stats don't tell you the whole picture. You know?
Yeah, and-
That's just for us to kind of gauge the picture, but it's really because it's there because we cannot see all the 82 games. If you could see, if there was like 12 games for every team, you would be able to see everybody and then really get the picture of who's the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Very good point.
And this, goddamn it, man, I've heard it on so many podcasts from all the media that Kobe was never like the best player in the league. Drives me nuts.
Well, the consensus, I think, is that he had 1 year as the best player.
I've heard that one opinion, yeah, and I disagree with that too. 1 year?
Yeah. I would say more like 5, 4.
Well, 4 I think may be possible. But so which ones, right? 2006 for sure. I mean, that was insane. Even that playoff performance, which they lost, but god damn it, all the effort in the world that he took, to extend the series against the Suns in 7 games was just
I would say
remarkable.
I would say '06 through 10. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Give me Kobe
Yeah.
over anyone else at that time.
Yeah, because LeBron was winning MVPs,
Yeah,
but Kobe was winning championships.
and
And
he was
everybody
making the
talked about,
finals and winning the championships and doing all sorts of crazy crap that probably won't be replicated anytime soon.
but LeBron did seem like a freak of nature force, unstoppable and
But
all
it's the
that.
narrative thing, and I don't know. Just the thing you brought a very great point here that you have to be there. You have to be in the game. You have to at least watch all
Yeah.
of the games to be able to say that this or that guy is definitely deserving over another guy to be called the best in the league, and it's still biased and it's still, I don't know, not objective. It's just an opinion, but to me, Kobe is the prime example of this sort of thing because he's not like he's a legend. Like, I totally get why other people in the league, previous greats, previous players, always say that Kobe was toughest to handle. He was the toughest one to guard. You would be scared to face Kobe and things like that. Like, players from all over.
Yeah.
And some of the previous players, well, former players, bring him up as the greatest of all time, at least put him up there in the discussion. And that says me a lot because I always feel like players know it best because they have to face you and
Yeah.
they actually are the ones playing and experiencing, what you bring to the table every single game. So to me, that's, I don't know, just talks about Kobe's legacy.
For sure, man. I remember I was afraid when I was rooting for T Mac still. In 2007, for
Wait,
example.
so were you rooting for T Mac?
Yeah, and I was rooting for him. And I remember the season opener, the Rockets playing the Lakers, and I'm like, oh shit, what are we gonna see now? Because in 2006 we saw some crazy shit, and you can see that fire in Kobe's eyes. He's like determined. He's guarding T Mac. T Mac's got a lot of trouble. But by that time, I don't know. T Mac kind of slowed down. He was really depleted from the back spasms. If you follow his career in 2006, he just had, I don't know, he played like 10 games or something. Played more, but every single day it's a question whether he's going to play because he's got back
I remember.
spasms, he's got this, he's got that. So he wasn't playing that much. I mean, the Rockets sucked ass in that season. So it wasn't really much to watch besides D Wade and Kobe. And yeah, now in 2007, I'm seeing. I mean, I remember that T Mac used to. He was able to get his shots. He was able to get over dribble against Kobe. But that was the first time I'm seeing like, holy shit, Kobe's locking down on T Mac, and all he can do is just shoot over him. And because he's such a good shooter, he can still make those shots. But he looks like he's in trouble. And when he's guarding Kobe, he cannot do shit to him. Nobody can do shit to him. I mean, for some reason, I don't know. I had such a perfect depiction of Kobe. It seemed like a perfect player because he wasn't missing. Whenever I was watching him against the Rockets, he wasn't missing.
Well,
Everything he shoots, he makes.
he missed a lot.
And yeah, that's the thing. Once I started really following Kobe's career and watching him daily on 2008, 2009, 2010, then you start to realize like, oh, he's human. But before that, and that's what I'm saying about the stats and the highlights of the previous players, especially about the highlights. You start thinking about them as these legends that are untouchable because everything they did was just big shots and everything they touched on was turning into gold. It wasn't the case. They all missed shots. They all made mistakes. They all had a bunch of turnovers, had bad games. They all screwed up a lot of the games. But because you watch the highlights, you think of them as something out of this world. And that's the thing that I thought about Kobe. Like, God damn it, who's gonna stop this guy? Who's gonna fuck with this guy? T Mac cannot stop him, obviously, and it seems like Kobe can kind of stop T Mac. So it was
Kinda.
always scary. And then I remember in 2009 or no, maybe in 2008, they play again and again. It's epic. It's always fun, and they love play against each other.
Yeah,
They
because
love
they
competing.
had this history
Yeah.
before they even made it to the league, I think.
It was so cool that Kobe said, that T Mac was the most talented player that he ever played against.
He said that about a lot of dudes.
Seriously? I thought I thought T Mac was the one.
But I won't ruin it. Whatever.
Son of a bitch, you already did. And then I remember T Mac he gets the ball under the basket and he's about to dunk it, and Kobe from the other side goes under the rim, kind of touches the net and blocks T Mac's dunk attempt. And I'm like, okay, it's
What
over.
you gonna do?
It's over, T Mac. I think you just lost it. Yeah, he didn't have the same jump. Maybe that was in 2009. Didn't have the same jump, didn't have the same ability, and yeah, Kobe was just sparkling, man. He was just sparkling. Whenever he got Pau Gasol, that's when I really started watching him. Because then, wow,
the
he took over.
the pick and roll with Pau was amazing. The chemistry they
Such a good chemistry.
Yeah, the chemistry they
Two
had
professionals
from the start.
know the game.
And I think it helped that I think another underrated fact that helped Kobe to be this great of a player is that he spent some time in his childhood in Italy growing up, and it's obviously a football soccer country, and soccer is like a ultimate team game, so you can't really operate
You
alone there.
literally cannot do this on your own.
Yeah, and I think that football mentality a little bit and just the international understanding
Yeah,
of
he's
stuff,
just very
you can see it in his
cosmopolitan
game.
player.
Even
Mhm.
though people call Kobe all kinds of crap, ball hog and things like that, never passes, whatever. But that's, I don't know. To me, again, I might sound like a silly fan here, but whenever Kobe passed, it was to on the dime, and that was especially evident when Pau joined.
Yeah.
Andrew Bynum was, I think he might have even been All NBA only because of Kobe. 'Cause as we later on saw, he wasn't that great, and
At
just
all.
the gravity created by Kobe, the passes, and just a chance to play along one of the greatest ever
Yeah.
excels you by on itself. And Kobe made other people better. LeBron usually gets the fact, but because it's silly, because you don't really have to shit on one guy.
Yeah.
If you are saying that other one is great, you are not really shitting on the other guy.
Yeah.
So, but whenever Kobe's mentioned, it's like, oh, okay, LeBron did this and that, whatever. They're just talking about Kobe now, and
Well, LeBron really plays a perfect game. He plays this. Everything is very calculated with him. Kobe just
free throws.
Kobe just seems like he's playing with passion. He just really has
Takes
that.
the risk.
Yeah, he doesn't calculate. Yeah, he takes the risk. He
Wait.
just believes in his abilities. That there's nothing that can stop him. And LeBron is very, even when he takes shots, he's shooting at the high percentage because he doesn't shoot always. Sometimes he defers because he just doesn't want to screw up his own game. And obviously, he's just a better passer. I mean, Kobe was a good passer. Kobe was a great dribbler. I mean, the way he handles the ball was amazing.
And Kobe he was Roger Federer of NBA. He was the maestro. He even as great as he was,
Footwork.
he worked his butt off every single off season to be even better. This Mamba mentality,
Yeah.
and he mastered everything. Literally, he hadn't any flaws in his game.
Perfect shot. I remember Jeff Van Gundy. I don't remember which year, but that was so on point. He said, "Man, Kobe Bryant shoots the way where I'm I would rather him shooting and missing and watch that than watching some other dude making shots because he's just the perfect form, beautiful.
And the
The way
fade
he
away,
twerks his body, the way he just fades away, the way his feet work.
the fall back fade away. When
Oh
people
yeah,
talk about the
beautiful.
unguardable shots, I think that's one of them. And I don't remember which year it was, probably either '06 or '07. I remember either 2K or NBA Live had this signature moves, something like that, and Kobe had this one where they made it ridiculous, like he was almost 90 degrees angle, like laying down in midair, shooting. But that's what it felt like sometimes,
Yeah.
because just he faded away and cocked it back, and then just shot it, and from all over the court too. So I don't know. Wasn't the best 3-point shooter, but
He was solid. If you leave him wide open, he's probably gonna make it.
and especially if you don't leave him wide open there. No, he obviously missed a lot of those buzzer beaters, but he made a hell lot of
Man.
them too.
Yeah, he was a big
He
shot
was
maker.
clutch.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the reason, I guess, why people are saying Kobe when they throwing trash into the bin.
Yeah, I remember even your point. Who's the better player in 2010 and 9? I remember Gary Payton. Do you remember Gary Payton was on NBA TV? I don't know why they took him out. Maybe he just making too many
Probably
jokes.
cursed. Till,
Yeah, the guy was just all over the place.
Did
But it
you?
was fun to listen to him. No, what? What's up?
Sorry to interrupt. Hold that thought. Did you hear that players only baby is no more?
Nice.
No more for next season.
I
Maybe
think they listen to us.
they are gonna yep, definitely. They are gonna do some sort of thing, players only, but no broadcasts anymore. So there's that. Sorry, please go on. Just
Yeah, so Gary Payton, I remember, as exciting as he is, and as sometimes as silly as you take him, because he was just joking all the time and all that. But when it's time to get serious, he said, "Yeah, Kobe's better. Kobe's better than LeBron." And yeah, strictly because of the fact that he's the clutch. He's the guy who will win the championship for you.
yeah.
And LeBron was not that guy. I remember up until he became that guy in 2013, maybe. He was not that guy.
I didn't want LeBron to win any chips.
Any chips? Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't want him to win not
Look,
a
I didn't like
single
him either,
title.
but man,
No, I
it's
didn't
fun
want
to
him
watch
to win.
greatness, though.
It's I don't know. It's
Oh
the
my
the
God.
Heatles felt fabricated to me because oh no, we now are gonna just gather here and just win, and we're gonna take veterans for the minimum, and okay, that's how we're gonna roll. And the first season,
Yeah, for some reason the Warriors, I don't know why, but the Warriors did not seem that fabricated as the Heatles
because
were.
they were not, because they drafted Steph, they drafted Dre, they drafted Clay, drafted Quinn Cook. No. Just the KD
Yeah, it
and
goes off
Boogie.
the cliff real quick
Just
after
KD.
those few names.
Iggy was organic too. They just made acquisition. Bogut was there. David Lee was an all-star. Livingston was a great pickup, and
Yeah, they were just a cool team making good decisions.
yeah, and you have to
And
give
then
it
they
to
made,
Lakeup and Myers and
yeah.
Kerr was a
And Jerry West, still
Jerry
there,
West,
the master.
still top 5 shooting guard of all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so talking about Kobe, right?
so what is the best part of Kobe's game, in your opinion? To you?
Just I don't know. I would say the fact that you can't really put a finger, I can't really put a finger on the best part of his game is a testimony of how great he is all over, like overall. He's an ultimate player. And as I said, to me, he's a legend. You don't really achieve a legend status. I remember when back in 2000s when it was AI, T Mac, who I'm not sure if you were a fan of, right? T Mac, Steve Francis, Vince Carter,
Carter.
Ray Allen, guys like that, Jerry Stackhouse, and those were just the front court players, but Tim Duncan, Garnett, and you know
Dirk.
all those guys. The league was full with talent, but Kobe to me was above all of them. Like there was time where you could kind of say that okay, he Ray Allen maybe. Who's better, Iverson or Kobe? Perhaps
Yeah, there were some talks.
in the final, but to me, Kobe just went up and above, and everyone else just stayed linearly the same.
I remember in 2003, I watched All Star Game with my father, and he's, 2003 was probably the
Epic.
favorite. Yeah. And he's watching Kobe. To him, Kobe and Allen Iverson was like every single time they go to the basket, make something crazy happen. His reaction is always like, "That's a fucking player. That's a fucking player. Jesus Christ, that's a fucking player." And I remember Kobe had some big moments, that big steal, and then those free throws and everything. Like, holy shit! He said he's the fucking winner or something like that. Yeah, he was really going top above everybody. To me, favorite part about his game was probably still his passion. The one thing that I really got to say is a knock on T Mac. Sometimes I was afraid that he just doesn't feel like it that day, that game. Sometimes you feel him being apathetic.
Doesn't
And
care
maybe
that
that was
much.
because of the injuries, and later on in his career, he had more and more of them.
Yeah.
So maybe that has something to do with it. But with Kobe, it was never the case. With Kobe, it was always 100%. You know what you're gonna get, and that was fucking exciting.
Yeah, and he even when he had a night off shooting wise, let's say, he was always the guy who wanted to win the most.
Yeah, takes it personal, then starts.
Wants to fucking destroy you.
Yeah,
And that's the similarity for me between Kobe and MJ. Like you're gonna say something to
for
MJ,
sure, man.
like Mutombo said, I think that hey, you never got me, like never dunked over me, and sure enough, next game they play, he posterizes him twice and
Do you
shoots a
remember?
free throw with
Yeah,
his eyes closed and things
yeah.
like that.
Man, he was pulling some stuff. Do you remember the story with Reggie Miller?
What?
I think Reggie was a rookie, and
Yeah,
they're
did MJ
yeah.
in the preseason?
Was it preseason? Could
Is this
be.
the same story that
Where he scored 12 points, and the coach says like, say something to him, say something like, you got nothing on me. And he's like, man, it's MJ. I don't want to say anything to him to antagonize him, but fuck it. Yeah, the same story, right? So Reggie, that was halftime, and Reggie scored like 12 points and over MJ. And MJ had like 11 or something. And Reggie said, you got nothing on me, just for you guys who don't know the story. And then apparently, once he said that after the halftime, uh, Reggie ends the game with 12 points, and MJ ends with like 34 or something,
40
40.
something.
And after the game, he says, "Don't you ever talk to me like that again," or something like. "Don't you ever talk to me again." I think. Yeah, that's MJ for you. And Kobe had that. He had that switch. Even yeah, man. He always added just at the end. It was very surprising to hear him finally give props to players.
Yeah,
That's
the
when we
last season.
realized, okay, yeah, it's over for
This
him.
one song, yeah, that was it was strange to an extent to hear him talk like that because he sort of let his guard down
Yeah,
because it was by any means imaginary. You just have to win. You have to destroy the other guy,
yeah,
and you have to dominate. And you can't show any sort of weakness. And he didn't. He was reversed sort of guy. I don't know. So it was very, very strange of him talking like that openly about other players and things like that, accepting those gifts,
yeah.
applauding the fans,
Smiling
stuff
to the
like that.
fans. Yeah, not doing the silencer, not doing to, whatever he does.
The
Fuck you or
Mamba face.
yeah. But actually, thanking the fans of Minnesota, for example, getting the ball. Yeah, sorry, this is my dog if you're hearing this. So, yeah, Kobe had a tremendous career. What is the favorite memory for you from his career?
Tough to say because there were so many, but I really liked the series between Lakers and Trailblazers. The alley oop, as strange as it is, because it's a pass while talking about Kobe to Shaq. That's one of the epic moments. The shots that he made against Trailblazers, where he got them to the overtime and then won it at the buzzer. Remember those?
No.
With a pixelated view. I'll show you definitely afterwards because that's just insane. Scored two buzzer beaters in the same game to force the overtime and then to win it. And 81 point game, of course. Just the finals. I remember them playing with against the Celtics wearing those retro jerseys,
Yeah. Yeah.
yellow against white, I think it was. Man, those series were great. So just all those all those fadeaway shots, game winners. Remember the shot against the Phoenix?
That's my favorite moment,
I
probably.
think that's got to be one of my favorite.
Really, the
ones.
lead up, the one thing I also remember about Kobe is that the guy just, if he's under the basket, like, the thing that frustrates us for Lithuanian national team, for example, that, God damn it, these professionals, they cannot even make a layup, when they're wide open. Sometimes they get through people, they just need to lay it up and they miss it. And it's obviously, it's such a fan thing to say because it's not that easy, but Kobe was a sure thing. Like that series against the Celtics, he was just all over the place. And KG is defending him. In 2010, Rasheed Wallace and Perkins defending him. And in 2009, KG and Perkins defending him. And Paul Pierce's all over his grill. He gets inside, penetrates, twerks his body, boom. He gets a layup, gets the foul. Such a sure thing. And that game in Phoenix, against Phoenix, that was probably in LA. When they got out of nowhere, they got this steal and they give the ball to Kobe, and now he's got to force the overtime. Do you remember that shot that he had to take? Holy shit, that's impossible to
art.
make almost.
Yeah.
But he makes it. It's a sure thing, and then obviously, since he made that shot, fuck yeah, now he's gonna make the ultimate killer shot. Yeah, that was spectacular. That series was insane.
And when you say that it's tough to make a layup, it is. And it when you are Kobe, and you know that you are gonna get the last shot, and everybody else knows that, and you
Yeah.
still get it, and you still make it in
Against
the other-
Raja Bell, who's apparently one of the tougher guys that guarded him.
Again, yeah, in his mug, just fuck you, Raja Bell.
Oh man, yeah.
One of the scumbaggiest players.
Another thing I love about Kobe, he didn't mind that. Everybody talked about Bruce Bowen, him being dirty.
He
Kobe invited those
embraced it.
challenges,
Yeah,
That was fun.
yeah, and he like even appreciated it.
Yeah, again, the passion, competitiveness. That guy is definitely something special. I mean, I don't think I could name anybody who's just like him right now, who has that passion. Even Russell, talk about Westbrook all you want. He has passion. He has that willingness
Passion
to
for
go
triple
100%. But yeah, it's not the same. He's not inviting that type of a competition. I don't think so. So, yeah, special guy. So that's why we are talking about him,
So,
even though he retired a couple years ago.
what do you think is the biggest Kobe's accomplishment? No, 5 rings, of course, but because that's the ultimate goal. Or do you think otherwise?
No, I don't. I think, yeah, the rings matter the most.
So apart from rings, what like strikes you the most? 2-time scoring champ.
You know what? I'll tell you. We talked about D Wade, how good defensively he is. Only 3-time all defensive team. Kobe's 12-time, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I thought it was a little lower than that, and just the other day I read it was 12 somewhere. It was like, what? Wait a second, 12 times. So out of 20 seasons he played, The last 3 seasons were meh. Just sort of you can
Yeah.
maybe discount them as injury riddled ones. So he really played like 17 real seasons in the NBA,
Yeah.
and 12 out of those seasons he made all NBA defensive teams. And it's 2 teams, not 3 teams, like with all NBA, where a guy like Kemba can, sneak in, or Gordon Hayward was all NBA once, I guess.
Yeah, it's not that easy. It's a really elite pack of defenders, and he was part of that elite 12 times. It's insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, Kobe's. What else do you have in mind? Because I think you have something extra in terms of Kobe's accomplishments.
Well, 18-time All Star, I think, is the record. Him and Malone, maybe,
I think so. Yeah.
or him and Kareem. Someone
Because yeah,
else has
Kareem is the
18.
leader of the scoring, right?
Yeah, someone else got 18, I think. But all NBA first team, he was their like also leader. Him, LeBron, maybe now. Jordan, I think someone else, but he's one of the leaders for now. LeBron still has a couple of years left, I think, so that's gonna be crazy because he can
Yeah.
beat Kareem. But anyway, to me, I think what really beautiful thing Genie Buzz did, and whoever else was behind this idea,
Two
that
jerseys.
they retired 2 jerseys. I really love that, and the 8 and number 4, just so poetic.
I choke up on that ceremony.
Aw, was T Mac there? Just it was so well fitting that he played 10 seasons with 8 and 10 seasons with 24. And man, last game, the court, they had both of those numbers printed on the court.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, one
I
on
did not
one
watch that
side.
game. I was more about the Warriors getting 73
More
wins.
like watching T Mac's highlights.
Fuck you, man.
You know where usually there's, it was back in the day, it was a sponsorship maybe, or a team secondary logo or something like this.
Hmm.
One of one
Yeah,
side of the court, one of the other. So
yeah.
it was number 8 on one side and number 24 on the other. So just beautiful. That dude really was a Laker for life, played only for one team, and got 2 jerseys retired. So that's nice.
So the best Laker of all time?
To me, yeah. I don't even, I don't know. People can talk about Shaq being the most dominant.
No, just in terms of Lakers.
Yeah, just for me as a Laker, yeah. He won the same amount as Magic and Kareem did, but Kareem and Magic, yeah, sure, Showtime Lakers and all that, brought the NBA to this spotlight and things like that. But to me,
Yeah.
Kobe is the Laker. Like when you think about the Lakers, you think about Kobe.
Kind of think about Magic too.
But I don't know, just maybe because I grew up watching Kobe play, and Kobe was the guy to me. Like I watched MJ, got a chance to still witness MJ playing for the Bulls. I was so little kid then, and I sort of got the feeling that okay, MJ is gonna like retire, and when I heard the news, and I was like, okay, so what else is there? And it was Kobe, and it was beautiful to root for Kobe all these years. So maybe that's why I'm a little biased. Do you think that it's Jerry West, greatest Laker of all time?
Man, I'll tell you, I don't think. I think it's tight race. I wouldn't rule him out. I don't. I don't know, man. It's tough to say. You get into
It
these.
is, and there's no wrong choice, really. I guess.
I mean, Kareem has also been great, but he hasn't been part of the Lakers all the
Yeah,
years.
there was Bucks, and he was MVP on the Bucks too, right?
Yeah,
And he won a chip with the Bucks,
yeah.
so he's sort of a traitor.
So, yeah, I would say probably it's between Jerry West and Magic and Kobe, and
But Jerry West like went to what 20 finals, won one. So
Yeah, so there you go again
just
then.
because
But
of
he
all
went
the
to a lot of
losses,
finals.
because of all the losses to the Celtics, he's disqualified. And Magic, I don't know.
Possible, yeah.
What's his career average? 20? 20? No, I'm kidding, obviously. Magic was great.
Yeah, well, Kobe obviously took him probably to another level because, the Lakers are all about Kobe Bryant.
And 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. That's the ultimate. Beautiful. So definitely a top five guard in the history.
1B.
Top three for sure as well.
Top 2 for sure. I can't find an argument why Kobe is not at least top 2.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Do you put Kobe in your top 10 of all time? Let's start with that.
Remains to be seen, right? Yeah, I think I do. I have thought about it where I thought about it both ways. Can you exclude him? Can you include him? I am including him, and I think you're you should probably exclude some other players before you do Kobe. So yeah, he's top five, top 10 for me.
So,
Needless to say that he is for yours, right?
yeah, sure. Well, actually, 10A. No, I'm kidding.
So yeah, I guess that's it on two great careers provided by two awesome players. But yeah, in terms of comparing, who's better, I don't even want to discuss this. That's silly. Kobe Bryant is definitely a legend, and his career is almost untouchable, at least by D Wade or James Harden.
Could have won the finals against the Pistons, though.
Shit, and against the fucking Celtics, they were up by 25 points against them. It was insane, man. I could
Imagine
not
if he
believe it. That
had
was such a gut punch.
if he had 7 titles now. What would the narrative be?
Yeah, that would be. Yeah. All right, so I guess enough of it. And I don't know, man. Do you want to do this all NBA stuff and look at the names who made the picks and shit on them a little bit?
I think we shat on them previously a bit, so maybe.
Yeah, just quick shout out to Diego Martinez from Reforma. He picked Russell Westbrook as all NBA first team.
But that was not the most atrocious pick, though.
Yeah,
right?
not the most outrageous, but I guess we can do this for the next time at some point. I mean, all NBA we talked about it quite enough already, right? So maybe when we really don't have anything else to talk about, the next time around, I'm not even sure.
Probably in 2 years or something.
Yeah, but still, all-time great topics are going to be discussed here, guys. So that's those are the topics of the summer. Shout out to LT Skullman from Instagram. He is the guy who really wants this to happen. So we're gonna deliver the goods. We kind of touched on two great ones today, but we will definitely dig into greatest point guards of all time and greatest of all time and all that.
Then the question was good too, though, right? Because top 5 coming into the season, because it really makes you think about where Giannis stands in terms of like who's the best player
Yeah.
right now in the league. Where is Kawhi ranking? What's gonna be dynamic between AD and LeBron?
We can
things
probably
like
do that before this, right before this season.
Yeah.
Those are sexy topics right before. So yeah, we're gonna figure something out, guys. Just enjoy the summer. And by the way, actually watch UFC. I haven't done for some reason. I don't get a lot of traction when I'm talking about Amanda Nunes. Not a lot of people are listening to that.
People hate Amanda Nunes.
I would say so, man. Have
Really?
you watched her? Do you know who she is?
Yeah, I know.
Of course
The
you do.
Brazilian,
Yeah.
my favorite fighter.
Yeah, so don't be a hater. Watch UFC. I mean, Max Holloway fighting Frankie Edgar. So you watch it too, man.
This
This weekend.
tomorrow.
I think so. Man, I need to fact check on that, but I really believe that it's this
Okay.
weekend.
Max Holloway,
Yeah, it's a big one.
my
So,
Mm. favorite fighter.
not the greatest card, but I think, it's the top fights are good enough for us to have a recap later on next
Who's
week.
gonna win?
Who's gonna win?
Holloway?
I don't know, man. Frankie's the beast. I love Frankie Edgar,
More than
but it
Holloway?
might be Holloway's time right now. Simply as that.
So, is this like gonna be? I don't know shit about UFC, so it's gonna be 5 rounds or 3?
Yeah, it's for the title. It's
For
for
the
Holloway's
title.
title for the featherweight division. Yeah.
Oh, but Holloway holds it because last time he fought, he won it, right? Or he defended it last
He
time
lost
too.
to Dustin Poirier, but that was for a lightweight title. Yeah,
yeah.
he wanted to become a champ. So it's going to be a 5 rounder, and Frankie has amazing gas tank. Although Holloway does too. So
So, what's your prediction?
I don't really want to make a prediction here, man. I'm kind of rooting for Frankie because he could be a champ too if he wins because he's been a former lightweight champion way back in the day.
So both guys get to be champ if they win.
No, it's Holloway's title that he has
So
already from Jose
nothing to fight for, really.
Aldo. Yeah, just give it up, man. So yeah, I guess I'm just rooting for Frankie, but I don't know what's gonna happen. I cannot wait. It's a good fight, good stylistic
Split
matchup.
decision. Holloway wins. 3rd round knockout.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, guys, thank you very much for listening. Check us out as always on every social media platform. Check us out on YouTube as well.
And keep submitting questions via email.
Yeah, shout out to LT's comment who finally did it, set an example. So thank you once again. Enjoy the summer, enjoy the fights. Until the next time.